South American country Brazil has erupted in chaos similarly to what happened in the United States on January 6. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Brazil erupted in chaos just like the United States on January 6. President Luiz Lula da Silva has condemned the invasion of Brazil's Congress, Supreme Court and Presidential Palace on Sunday by fascist fanatics after supporters of far-right ex-president Jair Bolsonaro unleashed scenes of chaos in the capital. The veteran leftist who defeated Bolsonaro in a divisive election to take office a week ago signed a decree declaring a federal intervention in Brasilia, giving his government special forces to restore law and order in the capital after a sea of Bolsonaro supporters overwhelmed security forces to invade the seat of power. Footage showed massive crowds in the capital of Brasilia, with some rioters clashing with police. A protester was also seen sitting at the desk of the President of Congress. French President Emmanuel Macron has joined other world leaders in sending their support to the president on Sunday. And you can just guess where Bolsonaro's was. In Florida, same place where Donald Trump is. Must be getting some directives from him. Same thing Trump did in the same thing he is doing. First he refused to accept defeat, then rather than hand over the seat of power, he left the country. And now his supporters are tearing the country apart. President Joe Biden arrived at the U.S.-Mexico border on Sunday on the heels of the major policy announcement and following relentless calls from Republicans who believe the trip is overdue. The trip to the border, the first for Biden since he took office, comes as the administration wrestles with a growing number of migrants, overwhelming federal and local resources. And with his visit to El Paso, Texas on Sunday, Biden is seizing on an issue that's been a political liability for his administration, while calling on Congress to overhaul the U.S. immigration system to meet current needs. The arrival of thousands of migrants has strained border communities, including El Paso. The city has prided itself on being a welcoming place for migrants, but has been overwhelmed in recent months with the sudden arrival of thousands of migrants straining local resources and prompting pleas for federal assistance. A 6-year-old student has shot and wounded a teacher at a school in Virginia in the United States during an altercation inside a first-grade classroom Friday, police and school officials in the city of Newport News said. From Friday until now, there's still no report of how a 6-year-old come to have a gun and how he is able to bring it to school to shoot a teacher. And if you ask a 6-year-old, he will tell you everything, but up until now, the police, them still a kiba. We're not getting any reports from them. The Portland police in Jamaica seized approximately 800 pounds of ganja during an operation on Long Road in Manchaniel. Investigators said 13 individuals were taken into custody. 2 minors are believed to have been among those detained. And according to reports, sometime after 9 on Saturday evening, the Portland police were conducting a snap raid in Manchaniel. A truck with farm produce was stopped on Long Road. A search of the truck revealed 8 parcels with about 800 pounds of weed. An ex-member of the Jamaica Defense Force has been charged in connection with several major crimes, including illegal possession of firearm, and he has been identified as Leon Fisher, 24 years old, of Scotts Hall in St. Mary. Investigators said on January 5th a man was standing at his gate in Scotts Hall when he was approached by the ex-soldier. Fisher allegedly brandished a firearm and pointed it at the complainant, and he said to have ejected 3 rounds of bullets from the weapon and then hit the complainant, resulting in injuries to his face. A statement was made to the police, and when the police visited the scene, they recovered 3 live rounds and apprehended Fisher shortly after. Fisher is also deemed a suspect in a case of robbery with aggravation, which was committed last May at a bar in Broadgate in St. Mary. A 20-year-old woman who was being sought for the murder of a man in Jonestown in Kingston was deported to Jamaica on Thursday after being captured in Cayman on Sunday. Ashley Williams, a resident of Denhamtown, has since been charged with the murder of 47-year-old David Rowe, a bearer of Septimus Street in Jonestown. A second suspect, 22-year-old Giovanni Thompson, has been charged in the case as well. The police said on November 30 of last year, Mr. Rowe was at his house on Septimus Street when he was accosted by Mr. Thompson and his girlfriend, Miss Williams. And during a dispute, it is alleged that the accused woman pulled a knife and stabbed Mr. Rowe several times. Thompson then pulled an illegal gun and opened fire on the injured man. He was later pronounced dead at hospital. Thompson was then captured last month during a police operation in Manchester. A woman escaped death in Davetown in Manchester on Saturday night. A police source said about 8:30 p.m. the woman was traveling in a motor car when the vehicle was ambushed and shot up by gunmen. Luckily, the woman was able to flee from the vehicle unscathed during the attack, which happened about 8:30. And it looks like somebody want her dead. Lady, if you have a visa, run, because I'm sure they're going to be coming back. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson said that investigators are making progress in their probe of the New Year's Day triple killing in Cane River in Bull Bay in St. Andrew. The area has been rocked by gang conflict over several recent weeks. 68-year-old Mason Isaac Ashton, 39-year-old construction worker Ashton Alric, both of Taylorland in 9 miles in Bull Bay, and a man known only by his alias Narco were killed when gunmen sprayed bullets on a vehicle in which they were passengers. Police Commissioner Anderson, who toured the community on the weekend, said investigators have identified the perpetrators of that attack. Meanwhile, 2 men were shot and 1 died on Friday at Rhymesbury District in Clarendon. Nikata Reed, 23, otherwise called Buju, a laborer of the community, was killed in the attack, and his wounded friend is also from that area. The police reported approximately 2:15 in the afternoon, Mr. Reed and the other man were in a pasture tending to a herd of cows when they were attacked by 3 men armed with handguns. The gunmen chased the 2 men and shot at them repeatedly before running away. Mr. Reed died on the spot. And in another gun attack in Clarendon, gunmen struck on Friday morning, leaving a farmer dead. Nicholas Williams, a 25-year-old resident of Comfort District, was reportedly riding his bicycle along the Comfort Main Road about 9:30 when men traveling in a silver Toyota Mark X motorcar drove up beside him. The occupants opened fire, hitting Mr. Williams several times. He was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead, and no motive has been established for the attack. So you can see the attack continues into 2023 just as it was in 2022. There has been no ease up. Onto sports. Flanker Football Club are the first qualifiers for the semi-final of the St. James Football Association Sandals Resort International Major League after flooding last-place Montego Bay Boys Club 12-0 in their return round game at the UDC football field on Saturday. Flanker FC won their 7th game of the season and took over the lead in the table with 23 points, which is one more than Reggae Youths. Also on Saturday, Granville United improved their hopes of a semi-final place with a 1-0 win over Lilliput Rovers at Sam Sharp Teachers College in Granville. And the win saw Granville United join Lilliput Rovers and Cambridge FC on 16 points. Granville, who are also in trouble, their Cavell Rhodes has been handed a lengthy ban and was fined by the Competitions and Disciplinary Committee of the St. James FA at a meeting on Friday evening. Rhodes, who was one of 2 Granville United FC players to face the tribunal, will miss the remainder of the St. James Football Association Major League as well as the first 5 games next season. Rhodes had previously played for Heights FC, but he did not go through the transfer proceedings and then used somebody's name to register and played for Granville United. Meanwhile, David Hines was suspended for 3 games and fined after he was found guilty of verbally abusing a referee in their game against Flanker on December 16 at Granville. And that is not tolerated in football at all. Anyway, that's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a wonderful day. I gone.